Look at you being all awake and stuff. You're reading words, and you probably aren't even stabbing anybody right now. You deserve a coffee, you little ray of sunshine.
I'm Judy. I have cafe. Come for breakfast.
Hey folks, Mike Barron here. Every time we do a crowdfunder, we place it on Fund My Comic. Because Luke Stone is a great guy, he's a stand-up guy, and most importantly, Fund My Comic is very comic creator friendly. They won't kick you off if some purple-haired freak writes in and tells them to kick you off. His fees are also very low. I recommend Fund My Comic for any comic or graphic novel projects you intend to do.
In the middle of the night, or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Geek talk all about the bizzle. A panel of pros who got that old school bizzle. Make the bird dance and listen to the sizzle. Sit back and relax and listen to the sizzle.
What a crowd. So I've got this new standy desk, and I decided I wanted to stand for the show today. So I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like sitting.
Cool.
So
Looks like you're in your attic.
I am in an attic, yeah. I'm in the top floor of my new office. Yeah, where I think about marketing all day. That's what I do. Video marketing, web marketing, media marketing. That's my new job here. Director of Media Marketing for this ministry called The Powerhouse. It's a parachurch ministry. We work with teens during peak at-risk hours. So it's pretty good. Right after I get done here, we're going over to the high school, and we're doing a thing called TRT, or The Real Truth. So it's a little sermonette thing that we do. And so I'll be over there with my video cameras and trying to capture all that to share on the web. So
Cool.
that's what I do now. That's what I do. How about you guys? What are you guys doing?
Surviving.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Not
off.
all at once, guys. I mean, come on.
I'll be thinking about marketing a lot too today.
I have some signs I got to cut and some stuff I got to write. So it's all good. Working on that
I
campaign.
swipe my mouth at the. Yeah, man, the Atlantean's looking good.
Yeah.
It's coming along just fine, isn't it?
Just fine. Yep.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that this morning.
backers. Yeah, thank you.
52 backers.
That trailer's good too. Yeah.
Deal. Yeah, the trailer turned out good and everything. We got a lot
Maybe
more
we'll
watching
work
on X today than we do on the YouTube, guys. Don't forget to share out the link this morning and let people know that we're here, that we're live. So Tuesday was beautiful. It's gorgeous out. Amazing.
Mhm.
And then yesterday, it said that it was going to be rainy, snowy weather.
Mhm.
I thought there's no way that that's even possible. It was in this, like, my son was wearing shorts and a t-shirt yesterday.
Mhm.
And sure enough, yesterday, it started raining, and then it mixed with snow, and then it snowed, and then it just sucked from there on out. It's bad. And I realized that fake spring did one thing for me. It made me long for spring, for real spring.
It's coming next week. It'll be here.
Yeah, the Midwest does this thing where it gives you a fake spring and then drops more winter on you. And then finally gives you spring.
Here's how it worked here. Yesterday was super nice. Like you said, short weather, no coat, no winter coat, nothing. Up in Marquette, which is up in the Upper Peninsula. I'm in Michigan, and it's a long state. Up in Marquette, they had a blizzard. They had about 8 inches up there, right on the shores of Lake Superior. We were, 55 down here, and it was really warm. Now it's 25. Wake up this morning, there's snow on the car, just a little, enough of a dusting. I should have put it in the garage and didn't. But it's ice all over the place. And I've looked at the weather, and, by next Thursday, it's going to be 68. So it'll be good. So if the weatherman's right, we'll see how it goes.
See, I wasn't ready for real spring because I want to get more skiing in. I'm in a state where winter's pretty awesome. And if you don't like playing in the snow, it's not a fun place to live. But if you do, it's the best. It's the best.
It's like that here.
Yeah. Yep. It's the best. It's the best. Yeah. So I will warn everyone today, I am currently using my old laptop because my new workstation has yet to come in. My new monitor came in yesterday, but it didn't power on. So that was disappointing. And a nice 32-inch curved monitor, which I was looking forward to doing some editing on yesterday. And then, I got to get a new one. But the computer is supposed to show up tomorrow. And so right now I'm using my old laptop that we decommissioned months ago. So I'm using that. And so hopefully it can hold up with the demands of today's entertainment. But there's no promises. But speaking of today's entertainment, guys, I have I don't know. Sometimes I go down these rabbit holes, and I've been finding these videos of local commercials that have found their way online. And I found one that I think you guys are absolutely going to love. Okay, this one is called Shifted.
Hey baby, how is your car run? Do you have a trouble with your transmission? Shifted in forward, shifted in reverse. Domestic or foreign, I please you with my service. Shifted in forward, shifted in reverse. Domestic or foreign, I please you with my service. Shifted in forward, shifted in reverse.
High quality production right there.
Please you beat my service.
High quality.
Shifted in forward, shifted in reverse. Domestic or foreign, please you beat my service. Hello, my name is Gorgon. Let me help you shift it.
Gorgon is the best.
Look at that look.
Look at that look. That look, man, right there. That right there. That is gold, baby.
That's that
is
come on down, ladies look. Yeah.
Lock up your wives, daughters, and even mothers, grandmothers. No one is safe around Gorgon. No one. No one is safe around this guy.
This guy's brilliant.
We got a local. It's so much better than our local. Our local guy who does transmissions. He puts his granddaughter up, and who stands there and smiles and says, "My daddy's a tranny man."
Oh no!
My daddy's a tranny man. That's good. I'm gonna have to find that one. Definitely gonna have to find that one. Oh my goodness! I figure that's a good way to get. That's a good way. That's a good way to get things started this morning, isn't it?
Good way to catch some attention.
Fine way to get things started this morning.
I love that.
Let's go
sly
and welcome
look.
our chat.
Yeah. The camera guys knew exactly what sells too. They were right there the whole time.
Yeah,
right there the whole time. They knew what they were. Marketing, baby, marketing. Exactly. We'll be talking a little bit about marketing today. Marketing with the. So as we look at some of the news articles, we're going to hit a few of them. But it's definitely con season. Con season is in full swing now. I mean, things are kicking off. We've got some big ones coming. Yeah. A lot of small little cons. When the spring comes, so do the little trade shows. We're going to talk about kind of how that's going to impact things. And we're seeing there's some news this week that makes me think that maybe people are moving offline and moving more to in-person kind of stuff. I think the world is changing, guys.
Ever evolving.
It's changing.
All right. Oof, man.
Evolving.
Lost my stomach there for a minute. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll flip you guys around like woo, oh, yeah, it's crazy. I
was at the Great Lakes.
All right,
Great Lakes Con. I was at the Great Lakes Con 2 weeks ago. That's kind of
we'll talk about that
for the con season here. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Let's welcome Dave Brink in the house, Genuine Comics. I'm looking forward to doing conventions this year, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of your stories and seeing the pictures from those great things. We also have Will here in the house, Creators Outlet, Hail Nerds, and welcome to another season of Con Crud. Yes, Con Crud.
It's about right.
It's a thing. Get your big bottles of hand sanitizer and be ready. Be ready for it. Welcome. Here's the Cooper Bunny, Telepathic Bunny, the rabbit hole in the house. Just did a stream of videos the other day from the local con. It's a special place. It's a special place, man.
It's always a special place.
New intro music. Well, yes. So again, I'm using the laptop. I don't have all of the assets that I normally use for the live stream. So the bacon sizzle was not here. It's not here. So I used some music that I'd created for an old Hybrids book commercial. So that's what I did. There's Randy. Randy's dual streaming this morning. Somewhere.
Just dual commenting
no
for
sizzle
some reason.
On hand.
Yeah.
No sizzle on hand. Yeah, there we go. Are you feeling better, Randy?
Much better. Thank you for asking.
Much better. That's good. Dave also recommends FMC. We do appreciate that. Dr. Mask is in the house. Hail nerds.
Hail.
Welcome, Dr. Mask. It's good to see you this morning. It's funny. So it took me about 2 years longer than what it normally takes me to do a couple of logos for Dr. Mask. It feels like, yeah, because there's a lot of back and forth and time delay with stuff. And when I knew I was going to be taking this job, when I thought I might be taking a full-time job, started rushing to get things off of my to-do list, right? Almost done with a couple of the big ones, the Man Below Me's cover. We're looking at wrapping that up this weekend. Man, I've worked hard on that thing. It's beautiful. I'm really proud of the work that thing is, what that thing's going to be.
There's a lot of detail that go into those space battle backgrounds.
Lots of detail. but it's worth it in the end. It's worth it in the end as long as it attracts people. So, but yeah, so I had worked to get his stuff sent off to him, and I sent off the email or whatever. And then he was like, "Hey, what's the word on those things?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So apparently the email didn't go through. Whatever. I made sure I sent it off again. But yeah, no, that one I got finished. We got Headless Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. Alonzo. Headless. Headless is in the house. Good to have you here. We've got Glenn Fleming. Also, welcome, Glenn Fleming.
Glenn.
I stand when I draw. I need to be able to move around, not overreach for stuff. Yeah, so I have a smaller tablet because there's a smaller footprint on the desk, and drawing is not going to be the main thing that I'm doing, right? So I'm going to have a big editing monitor, and then I'm going to have a 19-inch drawing tablet right here. So I will still be able to do art, because I do art stuff for what I do here, but not as much illustrating. But I'll be able to doodle in between jobs while I'm waiting for things to render out and things. But so yeah, I find that I'm standing about half the day. So my wife's like, "Well, we should get you like one of those little treadmills. You can just sit there and walk. Do you think you can walk and work at the same time?" I'm like, I don't know that I want to, but we'll see.
That's a pretty big turnaround, though, from where you've been before, I'd say.
I know, right? Yeah. So I'm having trouble with stamina. That's what she said. I'm having trouble with stamina. So I wake up early. I get in the office early. Like today, I got in at 7:30 because I knew I needed to set everything up for streaming. And then I work until 5:30. Then I come home, and there's no naps during the day because I'm too busy. I could probably sneak one in. My boss is pretty nice. I could probably sneak one in if I had to, but I just don't have time. I'm busy. And so by the time I get home, I'm beat. I've been in bed like the first two, like Monday and Tuesday. I came home, I was in bed by like 9:30. Last night I went to bed at midnight, so I did a little bit better. But man, I was yawning the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started yawning about 8:30. No, I didn't stop. But so we're hoping after a couple of weeks the stamina will pick back up. But no, I'm feeling much more healthy than I was before. I'm down about 20 pounds. So yeah, I think getting up, moving, working, it's going to be good for me. And having this is the first time in 20 years I haven't been the boss. You know how good that feels? Somebody else is going to make sure that the ship does not run into an iceberg. And all I got to do is make sure the guests on deck are having a good time. That's all I got to worry about. Guys, we have to make that bird dance. Gonna make the bird dance. There we go. Thank you, Infinite Entertainment. Hello, lads. Hope you're all having an extra crispy morning, except for Luke, whose mama told him never play with guns, but he shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. That is accurate. It wasn't Reno. It's a little town called Galveston, Texas. Galveston, Texas. That's where that poor sap took his last breath.
Before that, or before we started, Rabbit Hole sent you $2.
Did he?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
see
under
it.
your starred. If you look where it says live and starred up there in the corner, yeah.
Starred. No, that was last week.
Sent it at 9:06. Oh, was it last week? Okay.
Last week, buddy. Last week, yeah.
Didn't see it.
Thank
here
you,
last week,
Infinite
so I didn't know.
Entertainment. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show today. We'll call that a sponsor. All right, where did I leave off, guys? Where did I leave off? Feeling better, Randy. Sporgio. Glenn's in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn, Dr. Mask. About halfway through the Atlantean. Very exciting.
Yes.
Can't wait to get Atlantean too. We've got
Excellent.
Russ the comic book black belt in the house. What's up? What's up? Dr. Matt says he was in Cleveland a couple of days ago and saw a billboard with a guy in a suit saying, "You know what I do." I was like, no, I really don't. No, not so much. Not real sure. Here we go. We got Hojo. Welcome, Hojo. Morning, all. You're doing great, Luke. You had just come back to life when I came around. Yeah. And yeah, we're doing quite well. My friend Stuart and I were chatting the other day. He said, "Man, imagine in a year you're like going to be like so different. You're like the progress is going to jump forward." And I think so. I think it will. I'm looking forward to it. Who else are you going? So what else are you going to do in Reno? Really not much to do in Reno. Yeah, Galveston, a Glenn Campbell song. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yep. Who knows about Galveston? Galveston, Texas. Beautiful place. You know what? There is a $2 from Bunny. You know what that means? Flip us the bird. So there is no door on my office. Let me clarify here. There is no door on my office. Right back there. So when the bird flips, I'm literally standing up here dancing, having a good time, right? So if any of my coworkers walk by, they'd be like, "What is going on with that giant weirdo?" And they're just going to have to tune into the show. Thanks, Bunny, for the $2. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Here you go for this week. I do appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you so much. It definitely helps keep the lights on around here. We need help with that. Welcome, Pedro's in the chat. It's good to have you, Pedro. Pedro, what's up?
Hey,
Feel free to pop in
Pedro.
anytime. I know you're probably busy today. Feel free to pop in anytime. Last week, Pedro's pup had passed. Pedro's pup had passed. Okay. Pedro's pup had passed, and it was a sad morning. But we were able to get him chuckling and laughing with some of our videos. We had some dating videos last week.
Okay.
Those old VHS videos from the 80s.
All right.
Yeah, we were reviewing some of those last week. Had a real good time with that. And we made the announcement that I'd be starting a new full-time job, going back into ministry because I'm feeling a lot better. So I'm actually pretty excited about the new ministry's opportunity. Really good. Welcome, Woke Breakers. Good to have you in the house. Listening from work. Oddly enough, I'm streaming from work, so I understand where you guys go. That was one of my my begs. I'm like, could I please still do Nerd Bacon on Thursday mornings? As long as I get all my work done. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a problem for me getting my work done. I go, sometimes it is. When the coffee runs out, like I'm out of creamer right now, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Guys, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You don't like your coffee black?
Unfortunately, I don't. I like my. I used to have a guy that says, "I like my coffee like I like my women in black."
Black and ground up in the freezer.
He was
what?
Wow.
No,
a
it's an old T-shirt,
hell
T-shirt. Yeah.
He was.
All right, Ted Bundy.
Yeah, he was
my
my
T-shirt.
associate pastor under me when I was the lead pastor. He was the associate pastor, and he was also my theology professor. Interesting relationship. And Walker says that is racist. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's not racist. It's prejudice. He has a prejudice. He prefers his women a certain way.
Strong, black,
Like Pedro.
full-bodied.
Prefers his women like Pedro prefers his women older and
That's not older. That's
very much
experienced.
like Martha Stewart.
A little more experienced than most. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good morning. I think we've got a few things here to share with you. I think we're gonna. It is the same link every week now, buddy. StreamYard does this really cool thing where you can just reuse the same link, and it is such a saving time thing, and I really like it because every week I'd be sending out the link to all you guys. But now that you guys know it's the exact same link, you just follow it and you pop right in, right? It's
Unfortunately, unless anybody talks on that message board, it just knocks it farther and farther down the list. So You have to search
Yeah,
for it
so
a
every
little
once in
bit.
a while I'll have to pop it back up. Yeah, but no pink slip. No pink slip.
That's-
No pink slip.
Nobody's
So,
got pink slips
let
around
me-
here.
I'd like to maybe let's look at some news today. So maybe we can let me share this window. Let me share that window. And then you know what? I need to know. I'm on my laptop, so I've got one screen now at the moment. And so I normally have all of my articles off on another screen. And then so it's a little clunky this week. Next week will be better. I say that, but who knows? There's really no way of knowing if next week's going to be better or not. It's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot, Randy.
Well, let's make sure you aim.
Yep. Well, I'm going to do my best.
Try not to
best.
get it all over the floor. But anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. We're back. We're back in action. Let's make it happen. This week, we found. Okay, here we go. Guys, did you see this?
No.
Eisner Award updates, man. Hall of Fame nominations have been announced. Plus nominations open for Spirit of Comics Retailer Award. Big news. The Eisner Award Hall of Fame judges have announced 18 nominees, 6 of whom will be chosen by voters to be inducted along with the 21 already announced. Hall of Fame there. The 18 nominees to be voted on are Alfredo Alcala. I'm saying all of these names wrong. I apologize.
Yep. Blow the
Kyle
article up. I'll
Baker.
read them.
There we go.
Blow that article up a little. I'll read it. Alfredo Alcala, Kyle Baker, Bob Bowling, Eddie Campbell, Roz Chast, Dan Klaus, Mark. I always pronounced it Evanier, but I've heard it pronounced differently. Mike Friedrich, Don Heck, Junji Atu, Ben Ketchor, Todd Klein. Yeah, excuse me. Peter Cooper, Lee Mars, John Romita Jr., Posey Simmons, Leonard Starr, and Rick Vetch.
There you go. Voting is open to comics professionals, including creators, publishers, and owners of comic retail stores. The deadline to apply for a ballot is March 13th, 2025. So if you guys are out there, you are considered one of those, apply for that ballot and place your vote. And the deadline for voting is March 20th. You know it's going to be here before we realize it. The award administrators also announced the opening of nominations for the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Retailer Award. Any retail store that has been in business for 2 or more years is eligible, and anyone, including non-professionals, can nominate a store. Nominations can be submitted through the Comic-Con International website and will close on April 18th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Daytime. That means you guys get out there, visit that website, and start nominating your favorite retail store. Got to nominate your favorite retail store.
We should drop the link in the chat.
Well, I don't have the link. They don't provide it. Yeah, they don't even provide the link in the article. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah, ICV2.
Get with the program, ICV2.
Wow.
Get with the program. Here's some more good news. Check this out. I'm pretty excited about this one. I don't know about you. I don't know. I'm feigning excitement. I'm not really excited about this anymore. I'm too old for this crap.
I'm getting too old for this.
Now I have a question. The other day I saw an article and I never bothered to get into the guts and read it that said that Todd McFarlane was done with DC. Is this why?
I think so. I think it is. So, McFarlane Toys had got DC. And it looks like some dealings have happened, my friends. So Mattel Inc. and Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products, man, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Have signed a multi-year licensing agreement for Mattel to produce DC action figures, playsets, accessories, role-play products, and adult collectibles beginning in the second half of 2026 in the companies that the company's announced. The license includes all DC stories and characters and all channels. Everything. So adult collectibles and adult toys. What?
What?
What? Scratch that. That can't be right. DC
Opens
toys
up
are
a lot of new avenues. Yeah.
Probably some Harley
That
Quinn
was a
fans,
mistake,
you know,
All of
dropping
the,
in by those things.
Yeah, the adult toy market. Absolutely.
Adult collectibles.
That too.
Toys and adult collectibles. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, I don't think about how they come out.
What's the difference between like a
Oh, well, that's-
collectible like this and an adult collectible?
We mentioned adult toys and Pedro comes in. Hey, Pedro.
Yeah, and so does Bunny.
So does Bunny.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Sorry, I
we gotta-
posted the wrong
Adult
link.
toys.
And I posted the wrong link. So
It's all right.
We,
it's on me. It's on me.
we got a couple more people here in the chat. Let's welcome Apex Comics. Good to have you here today. We've also got Mad Ruth in the house. Welcome, Mad Ruth.
Hey, what's up,
Mad Ruth. Check out his book over on fundmycomic.com. If you like good sci-fi.
Yeah.
Man, if you
I
like
like
good
good
sci-fi,
Yeah.
then you're going
See,
to love.
I mean, if you don't like good sci-fi, check it anyway. The book looks awesome.
Yeah.
Soltak is a great book.
Yeah.
It's a fun read, especially once you get past that first 8 pages, where it sets out like the scroll, like of whatever you got. Some stuff you gotta know. Once you get past that, it just starts to digest real easy.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's get back to this article, man. This is fun stuff, right? So it goes, DC toys are currently produced by Spin Master and McFarlane Toys. So either one of those, I wonder what's going on there. We look forward to leveraging our Mattel playbook approach to brand management, product design, and innovation to bring DC's popular characters to life across all channels. Mattel SVP of Entertainment Partnership said.
Nick Karamanos.
Nick Karamanos.
He's Greek.
Karamanos.
Statement accompanying the announcement.
Yep. Robert Oberschelp, head of Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products, emphasized that expressions of the characters from across media will be available for Mattel products. Our collaboration with Mattel will lead to all new offerings celebrating DC's rich legacy and future storytelling across publishing, animation, TV, and film, he said. Every story and character, from Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman's heroics to the Joker and Harley Quinn's troublemaking, is prime inspiration for a new partnership that combines the power of Mattel and the global appeal of DC. The agreement expands the relationship between Mattel and Warner Brothers Discovery, which includes Harry Potter, Friends, Seinfeld, Ted Lasso, and more across the preschool, plush, dolls, vehicles, games, and novelty toy categories.
Wait,
They're doing
how would
And Seinfeld?
Yeah, but how would Ted Lasso work in a preschool environment? Like, I don't get it. That's a very
I don't know.
Yeah,
That is
kind of an adult show.
interesting. That's an interesting. Yeah, guys.
And even Friends.
Yeah, Friends.
Yeah.
And Seinfeld.
I have
Yeah, I
my
think of
Monica
kids
action
programming.
figure
I
with
think of
Twinkle
Ted
Lip.
Lasso.
Yeah.
What is the deal with plushie
What?
toys?
Exactly.
All I can think of for Ted Lasso are those old football games he used to have with the vibrating board.
Oh, yeah.
There we are.
Those were a
Ted-
test
Ted
of
Lasso.
patience.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Those games.
Running
That would
around
be
like
it.
they do on the show. Banging into one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Exactly.
Yeah, they always wind up in the same corner.
Yep.
they do.
They do.
I hate to bring down the room, but we have a little.
Doom and gloom coming soon.
I want that shirt.
Isn't it just a polo?
Yeah. But I want his shirt
You want his polo shirt?
as a collectible. Yeah.
Webtoon Entertainment reports loss.
It was hanging on the wall behind him. Yes, this is sad news for Webtoons. I think this might be the, I don't know. This is crazy. Webtoons Entertainment Inc. reported big losses for Q4 and the full year on higher sales with asset impairments and unfavorable currency fluctuation, the biggest drivers of the loss. The company lost around $153 million in Q4, up from $33 million loss in Q4 2023, and lost $214 million for the full year, up from $135 million loss in 2023.
How does that
asset
work on a
write-downs? I don't understand. Man.
You're doing digital comics where artists are contributing strips that they're not getting paid to post those up there. How are they taking the side of the loss?
Oh, okay. I understand the currency fluctuation because this company is based in Korea.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be they're really big on where their biggest customer base is, which is the U.S. So you're always gonna be the won, I think is the Korean currency, against the dollar. That's always gonna be like an influence. But I'm more interested in the asset impairment. Because the things that the deal Webtoons opens to its creators is kind of draconian. Like you basically give away the rights for all like production, TV, movie.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe, just maybe, creators are getting the wiser and not giving them their stuff or their best stuff. This makes no sense.
Well, it's saying that the currencies in Asia drop against the dollar were the main contributor there, which
that could be it.
I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Yeah,
I don't know.
70 million to the loss is pretty similar.
I shredded my bingo card.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, for example, if you have a weak won against the dollar, whatever money you make in the U.S. is going to be big bank in Korea, and that's how it works. So, with what's happening, I mean, this is not comic related, but it's pertinent. What's happening right now with Trump trying to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. is that he's weakening the dollar, which is not a bad thing. But
yeah, he's always complaining against. I think China's on the one. I'm pretty sure that's theirs. But he's complaining against them degrading, inflating their currency, devaluing it, so it's cheaper to buy and invest in China basically and take American jobs and American manufacturing. So he's trying to get it back. That's part of his goal. I just didn't see it affecting Korea in this way.
Yeah,
very interesting because Webtoons is like they're huge.
That's right. Nobody wants a weak won
where we're failing.
I mean, there are pills
gold
that will help you with your weak won, but it takes time. It takes time.
It's all got to do with blood flow.
Yeah, increase that blood flow.
But how do you lose money on it? That's what she said. How do you lose money on a digital comic site?
Oh, that's the thing. Like
people pay.
They have advertising within the website. That's a revenue flow they have. They have their auction, the possibility to auction the product on Webtoons. And there's a lot of Korean series that you see on Netflix today.
Are they paying
Webtoons?
Are they paying contributors or something?
Yeah, they have a subscription-based service.
Yeah.
Do they actually pay people that post their stuff up there, or are they just collecting money?
A very small percentage get paid.
Yeah, it's like Spotify.
But people are subscribing less, and they're getting less traffic. So that affects them to the currency.
All right, so the article does continue to say asset write-downs contribute to $70 million to the losses, pretty similar to $63 million in write-downs in 2023. Foreign currency fluctuations were a much bigger impact in 24 than in 23, as currencies in Asia, where Webtoons has most of its sales, dropped against the dollar. Foreign currency adjustments were $62 million of the loss in Q4 and $72 million for the full year in 23. In 23, currency adjustments were only about $18 million hit to earnings for the full year. After a loss in Q2 of 24, the company's first quarterly report since its initial public offering, Webtoons turned positive in Q3, but then had big losses in Q4, pulling the year down. So now that they're publicly traded, that probably also has a lot to do with when people see that they're taking losses, they're probably selling off their stock.
Yeah, but by the way they pay creators, this is a lot of like people crying in their yachts. So I really don't care. Yeah.
Sales were up 5.6% for Q4 behind growth in paid content and advertising. So there's paid content, there's advertising, partially offset by currency adjustments, and up 5.1% for the full year to $1.35 billion.
Billion.
I obviously do not know how they are structured or how they're making any kind of revenue. So,
I have no idea how they're making money doing that. Like, if you were like, hey, you can make $1 billion doing that, I'd be like, no.
Also, there's another thing that doesn't really happen in the U.S. It's companies being prepped up by their governments, but like big time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Webtoon is not at a Samsung or Hyundai level of government like backing, but they do pick a little bit of that. So that's the things like the too big to fail definition of companies. It's really bigger in Asia than in the U.S. So that's another thing to take into consideration when it comes down to the business.
Which always fascinated me, like the whole, like how some countries, like France, they have like a Ministry of Culture. That just sounds too Orwellian to me. It's a Ministry of Truth thing.
Dude, we have a Ministry of Culture. Like, if you want to make a film in Panama, you have to go through them.
That's just bananas to me. If you're gonna have a Ministry of Truth, like at least have a hot spokesperson. There's my
Seriously, not Scary Poppins.
Yeah, Scary Poppins. Remember that? That was crazy. Oh man!
You noticed he went to the EU and set one up over there.
Ooh,
she's behind all of these policies that are coming out the EU, anti-free speech policies. She's behind
Cherry Poppins.
Yeah, Scary Poppins is in the EU.
You know who's scared of Scary? Milton is. Milton is scared of Scary. So 3 shows in 11 days, taking the temperature, Milton says. I just finished attending 3 shows spread across the country, Comics Pro annual meeting in Greendale, California, Gamma Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and New York Toy Fair in 11 days, and got a chance to take the temperature of the geek culture business at these very different gatherings. The quick impression I'm sharing here are more a vibe check. It's really weird when an old guy says vibe check. More vibe check than a carefully formed analysis of the state of the business, but I hope they give you some idea of where we are in early March of 2025, a year that is going to have more change than any year since 2020, and before that, for decades. At Comics Pro annual meeting, no one was worried about the end of the direct market. It was likely the biggest Comics Pro gathering to date, reflecting generally positive market conditions. But I was surprised by the lack of angst at a gathering of comic retailers as a nearly 30-year system of distribution transformed around them. While there was concern about how the Diamond Comics Distributors Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing is resolved, I heard no talk about the end of the direct market of an existential crisis for comic book stores. Interesting. With both of the big 2 superhero publishers coming off a successful 2024, plenty of other positives to point
I'd like to see
to.
those figures.
I would love to see those figures.
Yeah.
And sales that remain at much higher levels than they were pre-COVID. It's going to take more than the Diamond bankruptcy to turn sentiments negative. While no one likes the disruption to supply chains as some shipments from Diamond are interrupted, other lines, switch distributors and retailers contend with the extra work it all creates. Product is largely flowing, consumers are buying, and communities are intact. But smaller suppliers to the comic market are scrambling. The good vibes are harder to find amongst smaller suppliers to comic book stores, who are sometimes dealing with interrupted cash flows as expected Diamond payments don't arrive, and trying to decide how their products will get to market in the future. Here at ICV2, we are getting a constant flow of announcements of companies making new distribution arrangements, expanding direct sales to retailers, and in some cases, pausing publication entirely. It seems inevitable that there are going to be casualties among small indie comic publishers, and while most don't contribute meaningfully to the total dollars of the business, ouch, that was that was a kick, right?
Oh, screw
right
you.
in the teeth. Yeah, right in the teeth.
Screw
Come
you.
on. You don't
What a
contribute
bastard.
meaningfully to this thing we call comics, there's no reason
That's
to
kind
worry
of like
about
the USAID stuff is not a significant part of our economy. So why are you guys having a problem with it?
Exactly.
Same people.
Yeah, so the casualties among indie comic publishers, and while most don't contribute meaningfully to the total dollars of the business, any reduction of access to the market lowers the chance of an offbeat hit or trend and reduces the way the creators can refine their craft.
Some of you might die.
And maybe we don't get the next best thing, but
Well,
we still have the regurgitated.
There will be casualties,
drivel.
but they're small casualties.
Yeah, exactly. Some of you might die, but we might not notice. So it's all good.
I talked to
There's
my
only little deaths involved.
I talked to my local retailer, and he said they've been planning on Diamond ducking out ever since they lost Marvel in DC, and that any retailer now that's not dealing with the other two distributors directly are out of date anyway. He said he was down to one small Diamond box a week, and that was all the independent material. So he wasn't concerned at all, and in fact was looking forward to Diamond dropping just because he knew the market was going to open up a little bit more as competition grows between the distributors, which never should have, narrowed down to Diamond being a monopoly in the first place, because they've had 40 years of stagnation ever since Diamond convinced everybody to run exclusive with them. So
Back to comeback.
It's just a matter of the retailers hanging on and finding ways of covering their bills until the distributor arena settles down a little bit. Plus, all of your real advancements in comics right now, all of the any real hardcore artistic advancements are going to come out of the crowdfunding market anyway. So it's going to take a little bit for them to shift into any kind of larger distribution, which I think might be one of the problems that Webtoons was having. Trying to move from one platform to a physical platform. I'm not sure, but that's my guess.
Milton continues, says at Gamma Expo, business was good, but tariffs were top of mind. A record Gamma Expo reflected a hobby game market that retains most of its COVID growth, a good finish to the year, and high expectations for 2025. But most board games and many miniature games products and color RPG books are made in China. And even TCGs printed in the United States are printed on paper that likely comes from Canada. So when it appeared last week that a second round of tariffs on China imports were going to be imposed, along with the delayed tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports, it caused a new round of uncertainty and concern. There's already a lot of price resistance around games, and substantial increases in costs are going to require price increases that may deter some consumers. Now let's talk about the tariffs a little bit, guys. I do want to talk about the tariffs.
But before you do that, also keep in mind that board game sales, especially, are dropping to the floor, and that's been happening before any of the political situation started up.
Yeah,
so they're also, already in a rough shape.
Don't you guys find vomiting using the phrase "COVID growth"?
Yeah,
like put it into perspective. Like, people are dying. The work is in lockdown. But we grew, guys.
Well, the board game industry, it sounds weird, but board games were propped up by lockdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
They were, and they went soft real quick. Yeah,
that's what she said.
Yeah, they got a week one really fast.
Yeah. But I play this board game. I played this board game with my family. I'm just gonna promote them. I have no idea if this is free promotion. It's called U-Dog. It's a really fun game, but it's made by a family right here in America, and there are plenty of ways.
Do they print it in America, or is it printed in the UK, or printed in China?
Canada.
I believe so. It's made on these wood boards. They're actually quality. Like the board is like it comes in like these like wooden puzzle pieces sort of thing, and you could assemble it based on how many players you have. and then there's a deck of cards and some marbles, and that's it. That's all the pieces you need. But yeah.
All right. So let's talk about tariffs a little bit. So the first term, these tariffs, everyone freaked out about tariffs, and the tariffs wound up working. Everyone said there was going to be a big war. It's going to cause all kinds of trouble. Don't do it, blah, 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 blah. And then it turned out to be a big nothing burger that helped us in the end. To be quite fair, when you look at the tariffs that are placed on American goods to other countries, in many cases, it's more than 100% tariff. So the trade isn't the same. So I have a feeling with this reciprocal tariff thing that is coming into play on April 2nd, I think you're going to see some cool things happen here. I think you're going to see some stuff change. The issues with Canada right now, it's really because it's that weirdo Trudeau. That he's a lame duck. He's already resigned. He's going out. He does have this one guy there's this one guy in their parliament that's trying to say, we're not in a place to have an election, right, or whatever. Which, no. Let the Canadian people vote someone new in. Trudeau is an idiot. He's a spineless, limp noodle. You don't need him there. He's not doing anything good for your economy, for your country. So find someone that will. And so I think that we'll start seeing some changes there, right? Especially with someone new coming in. Trump's willing to work with anybody but Trudeau. He does not like that guy. And the whole government, I don't think there's any buying Canada. That's not really even anything we're talking about. It's literally a troll on Trudeau. That's all it is.
We won't buy him.
And,
we won't buy him anyway. We'll annex him.
And these left-wing media outlets, just go with it. They just go with it. They have yet to learn the art of a joke, of a troll.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
On other international news.
Which is why they are dying.
Yeah. On other international news, you guys can claim victory now. Because C.K. Hutchinson, the owner of the 2 ports that were in contention in Panama, were sold to BlackRock yesterday. So hopefully that will calm down.
Yes, a whole different country.
Hey, the evil empire. Woo!
Yeah. Now everybody's like, oh my God.
But listen, it's our evil empire.
Exactly.
It's ours. Evil empire. There's a big.
It's not China's evil empire. It's ours. Anyway.
Pick your poison.
But guys, there's a point I want to make with all this. People are saying, oh my God, Panama bent the knee. We weren't happy with C.K. Hutchinson anyway. We've been trying to kick them out for years. What the Panamanian government did and forced them to sell to BlackRock is we're gonna audit you guys. It's what? They haven't paid a dime in 25 years to the Panamanian government. They have been very shady. It was horrible, and it was done by a president that got bribed in '97. He got some money. CK Hutchinson get an awesome contract that they own nothing. More than likely, the new contract with BlackRock is going to be the same contract as Panama is going to be without a cent. But at least Trump is not going to try to get our country. So
hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it is better for you guys.
Yeah. I think we're more worried about Greenland at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Greenland is is vital for national security. It really, honestly is. And I think his speech of the night, his speaking around Greenland, softened, it softened a bunch. And I was impressed by that because Trump's not known for softening his rhetoric. Of course, he did follow it with, the slam on Pocahontas. I spit out my coffee.
But she deserved it.
Oh, she does deserve it. So, but I think the tariffs will actually, I think there's going to be a little scary time, but I think it's going to, in the long run, I'm one of these people, I don't tend to freak out on the onset of anything. I like to, let's play it out and see what happens, right? Like the whole Panama Canal thing. Let's wait and see what happens, right? The whole Canada thing. Let's just see what happens. You know,
there's so much of this that's fear mongering too and overblown, especially in our media here in the States. They want to take any type of kernel and blow it way out of proportion. And most of the time, the way that Trump works, it's all negotiations anyway. He'll make a broad statement, and the media will freak out with it to freak out their base. But in reality, it turns out to be something a lot better and a lot more calmer in the long run. It's just that
it's like
there's a little bit of time that
speech.
has to be done for negotiations. Go ahead, T.
Well, it's like at the speech where he said they're not going to celebrate or applaud me for anything, and then he brings out the little boy and gives him a Secret Service badge and just
that was
illustrates
awesome.
that point.
Yeah,
dude,
It's
cried.
brilliant.
I was like, this kid, man. Yeah, look, if you woke
he's
up,
precious.
if you woke up on Wednesday a Democrat, you should be embarrassed by what your party, how your party behaved at that whole thing. The bipartisan that they started with, the whole bipartisan walking in of the president. The Democrats didn't even show up. They've just proved that they're not bipartisan. The party that's supposed to be about women's rights voted against protecting women in sports. I cannot believe that we have come to the point where I was a hardcore Democrat at one point in my life. And I cannot believe
Same here.
that we've come to this, man. I can't believe that, I was the punk rock, yes, fight the power. And it's all changed that now if you are conservative and you have Christian values and you believe in the family unit, that
Then
you are
you are
somehow
punk
this
rock.
giant rebel.
Yeah, you're the rebel. Yeah.
Someone,
dude.
in fact,
But then again, Luke, like, what is really a woman?
well, you know what? If you can't figure that out, hey,
Yeah,
Joe,
at this age,
he's
I know what a
he's
woman
right.
is. Martha Stewart. That's a woman.
But they were wearing pink, Luke. They wore
Yeah.
pink, though.
They did wear pink. So I mean, I guess that happened.
And they all brought their pickleball racket too, but that didn't mean much either.
Oh man, on the internet that just backfires. Like when, get a clue, guys.
Gutfeld's having a field day with it. It's pretty funny.
The memes have been
Gutfeld's
beautiful.
hilarious.
Yes,
The
they have.
memes have been so beautiful.
It's so easy to Photoshop those black
Get a
paddles.
clue.
They just walk. It's all these unforced errors. They just walk right into stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't even have to like feed it to them. They do it to themselves.
The icing on the cake was CNN afterwards ran a poll and it backed up the 80-20 difference. 80 for the people that approved his speech and the 20 that didn't. It's pretty obvious where the country's sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing that
It
pendulum
really
swing
is.
back.
That's
really
that
quick.
NBC host. That's that MSNBC host talking about the kid committing suicide. That was really nice
uncalled
of
for.
her.
Yeah, she should have been flushed the next
Is that
day.
Rachel Maddow?
Wallace. I think her last name's Wallace.
No, it's
Maddow was
Rachel
Maddow
Maddow
was
was looking appalled.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
trust anything
I
that
mean,
man
it-
says.
The
it's
blonde
pretty
to her left.
Mm.
Jen Psaki was looking at her like, "Oh no, oh no."
What?
That was a wonderful pile
dude.
of false premises piled one on top of the other and then thrown at the 13-year-old kid. It's like, are you kidding me? Just ridiculous.
Well, remember when they said that one kid had a punchable face just because he wore a hat and smirked?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't.
Yes.
They don't care about anyone, no matter like how. Like they said, you couldn't make fun of what's her name, Greta Thunberg, and then they wanted to. Like, oh, that kid has a punchable face. Like they don't care. They're so disingenuous.
I mean, no, you can't make fun of them.
There you go.
That's the thing.
Yeah. They're the most disingenuous people.
Someone sent me this the other day and said the only thing you're missing, Luke, is the overalls.
Yeah.
We in a post-Christian era,
Yeah.
now while simultaneously being in the postmodern era, subjective morality seeps in. It really does.
Not in our
Insightful.
stories. We're working to change that. We're bringing back objective morality based
Some
comics.
fun and
Yeah.
and have some.
And bologna sandwiches.
But it is nice to start to see. It is nice to start to see that some of the agenda items are being removed from entertainment these days, and it is nice. But we always kind of get to politics because really what's going on in the world right now does affect. This tariffs could very well increase game prices for a little while. But like I said, I think they're going to go down. I think we just need to not freak out, buckle down, and just wait and see what happens. He's good at making a deal, right? You may not like him, but he's great at making a deal. And he is thinking about America and what we're doing first. So a lot of this is bringing manufacturing back. So that Taiwanese chip manufacturer is going to produce their fastest, most sought-after chip here in America. They're building 5 plants in Arizona. Honda Civic just announced that Honda is going to announce that they're moving the largest Civic plant in the United States. It's going to be built right here in the United States, in my state of Indiana.
And it was going to be built in Mexico.
That's huge.
Also, German manufacturing is all moving to the U.S. That's the other thing.
Yes. So the auto industry is going to boom, right? And other industries. And Trump just signed that order to free up all that wood and that lumber that we'd had all kinds of stuff on, that we couldn't touch. So now we can start having the lumber to build. So we don't need to import from Canada or anywhere else for our lumber, which means we can also start making our own paper, right?
As if we're
going to take a while to gear up. Yeah,
it's going to take a while. I give it 18 months. I think 18 months, maybe 17 months at this point.
Let me give you an illustration. Illustration. I-40 was washed out like 2 years ago. It took them over a year to build it back, and then Hurricane Helene hit and completely washed out even more of it. And then they were saying, it's going to be 2 years before we open that back up. Well, the Trump administration comes in and says, why don't we use this bedrock? And they're like, there's like, we can't use it because of this, and this. So they cut that, and it reopened this weekend.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you get the hippies out of the way. We got all these natural resources on this amazing continent, and it's crazy what we can do.
So, boom.
Trump is a builder, right? Yeah, he took a small loan of $1 million from his dad, right?
Yeah.
But he turned that into multi-billions, right? So, I mean, he knows how to take money and turn money into more money, and he knows how to build. He's a great builder. And so he's going to build here in America. There's going to be jobs, and just like Matt Ruth says, jobs equals prosperity. And so I think we're going to see a lot. I think people are going to have a hard time within the next 2 years to really. I mean, they're just, all they're going to be able to say is the guy is mean, that he's a bully. That's all they're going to be able to say about him, because he'll do so much more for everything else. And honestly, I don't care if they find him mean. I didn't like the way Zelensky. I thought he was very disrespectful. I'm glad people are finally starting to see that Zelensky is power hungry. He is a power hungry man, and that he idolized Putin in his early career. A lot of people don't realize because they don't do the research. He idolized Putin.
There's another thing you're not taking into account with Trump, Luke, is that he's a guy who knows how to come back from failure, which is even more important than like being a successful man. Knowing to come back from failure, and the best example is Argentina. The guy they have that there, he said, I can fix Argentina with or without money because I have the tools. And now, like, Argentinian inflation is at 1.9%.
Right. And the dude from Argentina.
Javier.
So the dude from Argentina, Javier, he's like, there's some kind of an alliance with him and Trump. Like, they love each other, right? And and then you're looking at a lot of these other European nations that aren't on board with endless war and want to see an end to it, that are coming into line with American views on these things. And I think you're going to see a new kind of alliance start.
Yeah, Orban.
I'm excited about that. I'm really excited for April 2nd to come, so we can see who we start having free trade with. And I think that's going to change a lot, is who we establish free trade with. And that's going to impact our prices, and it might even impact who we market our books to. Because if there's free trade between here and Italy, let's let's translate these books to Italian, baby. Right?
Yeah.
If there's a free trade between here and Argentina, then we need to make sure we are thinking about an Argentine market.
Okay, guys, there's another thing really important. In Italy, we have the fumetti culture, which is basically the comic book culture. Those guys read comics. Yes. And the biggest book fair in all of South America is in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So,
Argentina. Buenos Aires, Argentina.
So,
I love the way you say it, man.
Yeah,
it sounds so pretty.
This is my first language. This Tony Montana accent that
you say afuera.
Real. Afuera. That's the thing. Like, this Tony Montana accent, it's me trying to sound like you guys and failing.
The Atlantean, it's already in Portuguese and Danish. I'm really looking forward to being in Italian, German, and Spanish.
In Spanish. That's the thing.
So much.
Brazil is a huge market. We're talking about 140 million people. And a good percentage of them read comics. The thing with Argentina is that they think they're better than everybody else in South America. So they do read a lot just to keep that snob position over everybody. So that's something we can use into our advantage.
There's never really been a counterpoint against reading. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but the thing that if you read to be if you read to be an a-hole, which is what they do, then
as long as you read it. As long as you
it's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Buy my book. Buy my book.
Buy my book.
Buy my book.
We are those assholes.
Mad Root says, eBay already told me that there would be a tariff on all sales over $800.
Oh no!
I'm not losing sleep. So I think. Look, we don't have a problem with Canada. We have a problem with your leadership. I think the fact that like milk imported into Canada has over a 270% tariff on it, and no one's complaining about that when we say we're going to add another 25% because of the flow of fentanyl. But when we go to reciprocal on April 2nd to reciprocal, so basically whatever tariff you have on us, we put that on you automatically, right? But that only seems fair. Why did it take this long to do that? That's just seems like common sense to me.
That's another thing. That's the thing. Like the world, the world regime that was set up after World War II needed America to be a consumer. Trump is trying to break that and bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. So now those tariffs make no sense.
No,
so it made sense in a different world, but now the new world that's coming in,
but not in 2025 yet.
Like everybody thinks that America is like fighting China. Like I'm noticing patterns, especially with this Ukraine thing. More than likely, Trump and Xi Jinping are patting each other's butts. Like we got them, guys, because they're fighting over stuff that's really like, dude, it's telling Europe to do. You got to defend yourself. Stop being a warmonger with other people's toys, and get your act together. He's not really attacking China anymore. Have you noticed?
Yep.
So those are things to take into consideration.
Well, he's always said that him and Ping. He's always said that him and Ping were friends.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I believe they're friends, but they're both tough businessmen. Like they're both tough leaders, right? So I think it's all going to work out in the end. So let's continue with the article. It says, while the hobby games business is much better positioned for the new trade environment than it was a couple of years ago, when a pivot to small box games, with a pivot to small box games well underway, the second layer of 10% on China imports brings the total of new tariffs imposed in the last few weeks to 20%. It's going to be a challenge. There's also a concern about retaliatory tariffs from North American trading partners that may make it harder for U.S. publishers to sell games into those markets. Along with disappointment that Alliance Games Distributor was dragged into the bankruptcy by Diamond, while Alliance is not the hobby game powerhouse it once was, it still sells a lot of games and has a loyal following among both publishers and retailers. So there was a lot of disappointment among both those groups that problems with Diamond's comic business had put the import game distributor into such a negative state. That disappointment was tempered by a general optimism for Alliance under the new ownership and much speculation about how that might be. None of that meant that game retailers weren't hedging their bets, with other game distributors reporting a wave of incoming calls from nervous Alliance accounts looking to secure supply for the coming months. At the Toy Fair, a smaller show in comeback mode. New York Toy Fair came out of COVID badly damaged, with the 2021 and 22 shows canceled. A fall 23 show that had weak attendance, and after a shambolic, I like that word, after a shambolic attempt to move the show to New Orleans, a return to the city and time frame that have hosted the show for decades brought a show that was smaller than it was in 2020, but substantially better than the 23 event. Both exhibitors and floor traffic were down from 2020, with big booths from big companies at the front of the upstairs floor of exhibits, but empty spaces at the back of the hall. It seemed busier to us on the lower floor of exhibits, where collectible figures companies and smaller game publishers showed their wares. And some positive signs on the Diamond bankruptcy. Most of what I was getting about the bankruptcy from the first two shows was about the impact on the companies in the business. So it was interesting to get things from the perspective outside the comics and games hobbies on the current situation. I stopped at the booth of Diamond Select Toys, Diamond Comic distributors, and Alliance game distributors, and spoke to Rami Ali, senior directors and Alliance Games distributor, and okay, I read that already. Senior directors at Gretzel Hendricks and Associates, the restructuring consultants that are helping to guide Diamond through its Chapter 11 process. He told me that he told me that events since the filing were proceeding as well as or better than expected, including good vendor support and additional parties interested in acquiring Diamond assets. Bidding may be complex because there are a lot of moving parts, but he said that things were generally going well. That interaction was coupled with direct and indirect information from other sources that indicated that well-funded buyers that are strategically connected but outside the comics and games business are circling Diamond assets, with one telling me directly that they intended to bid. So it looks like there might be some other people that currently aren't in the comics and games business that are looking at opportunity to expand their income.
So
that
they have
$10
million to spend to make $1 million.
Look, if you, how do you make $1 million? Yeah, how do you make $1 million in comics? Start with 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Start with 10.
Start with 10. That's what Randy says. I came away more optimistic, he says, although I knew that both the underlying comics and games business were solid going into the show. I was thinking that the results of the Diamond bankruptcy were going to be primarily negative. The shows confirmed that both retailers and publishers were largely optimistic about the future, but at the Comics Pro and Gamma shows, there was still a focus on the negative aspects of the bankruptcy, which are substantial as of today. At Toy Fair, I got a view from a different perspective where the changes could end up being positive. I now have higher hopes for a viable future for Diamond as a comics and merch distributor with the backing and transformative management that could produce a better company. And my expectations that Alliance will emerge as a stronger company remain high. While it's no fun going through this period, that's just a reflection of my old maxim from the Capital City distribution era. Change is hard. You know, and I agree with him, and I think that's what we're seeing in our country right now. Change is hard, but I remain largely optimistic about our place in comic books, and our place as independent publishers. So, Randy, you currently have gone to a couple of events. I want you to talk about that for maybe 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, because we do have to have a hard start here in about 14 minutes.
Just one. A couple weeks ago, I did the Great Lakes Comic-Con down at the Macomb Community College in Detroit. And it was kind of bittersweet because the creator of the convention, Mike DeSantis, passed about a week and a half before the show started.
Oh, no.
And he passed very suddenly and unexpectedly. and it had kind of shook up the entire area there. But the show went incredibly well. It was his wife stepped in, and his brother, Mike's brother, came in and had help from all the rest of us that volunteered or that were offering whatever aid that they needed in order to make sure the show went smoothly. We're still hoping that the show is going to continue, but it's in the air right now. But they had a lot of guests. Angel Medina was there that I got to talk to for quite a bit, and Kevin Eastman was the main guest, and they had to treat him like a e-ticket ride at Disneyland on Sunday, and have basically gave out tickets in lots of 50 for people to stand in line. And Kevin was there before the show started and was there at least an hour after the show closed and he was there just Saturday and Sunday, but he was there, and he was talking to everybody, and it was a very, very good time. Had a lot of good guests, a lot of great artists. It was a really good time in general. Everything went really smooth as far as I could tell. And it was a very good and uplifting show. I went through all of my hardback copies of Shadow Kingdom, went through a lot of the Shadow Kingdom black and whites, a lot of the Atlantean ones that I had there, and just really happy. And now we've got Atlantean 2 that's just started up at Fund My Comic. But it was a really good show. Made a lot of reconnections. Talked to a lot of people that I hadn't talked to in a long time, and got a few very exciting commitments on stuff that I can't announce yet until there's a little more firmer commitment and stuff in line. But
how was the foot traffic to this event?
The foot traffic was great. It was really good. It was as well attended as they ever were. This was his biggest show. Mike had just extended the show out for 3 days. Normally he doesn't run a Sunday show because he teaches or taught at a local high school. So he always took Sunday as a cool down day, but he was planning on running, the show through the weekend, and it did. Worked out real well. I instead of driving back and forth is what I normally do, I went and caught a motel down there that was really fascinating. I'd never stayed in a business motel before. The room was about half the size and just ingeniously designed. It was a really good stay for about the same price as what you would do at a Sleep Cheap. The nearest quality inn I was going to try to stay at, the first review had a picture of a bed bug on it, and decided to keep looking, but ran across this hotel chain that was incredibly good. It was really
don't want the bed bugs.
It was very top notch. For what it was well worth the time. Less than 5 minutes away from the event, so it was good. But the whole show went real smooth, and I was really happy. There was a lot of great movement. Sold quite a few old comics, so it was good. It was a good time. So, and my next show now isn't until April. I'll be doing the Grand Rapids show that's going to take place in Kalamazoo in the second week of April. So the Grand Rapids.
Let's take a look at this.
And that's always a good show. Yeah, Atlantean 2.
53 volume 158% funded. 29 days still to go. This book looks great.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at this.
In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull and his right hand rule the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures. Sign up now for news with the email list at russleach.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah.
That looks great, guys. I'm excited about it. Still a lot of time to go. Guys, why don't you flip the bird and go ahead and
Russ is literally knocking the Russ is literally knocking the art out of the park. If you liked Atlantean
Russ
1,
is
you're
a
going to
beast.
love Atlantean 2. He is a beast.
I
Doing
hate
some
Russ.
incredible work.
This is simply
And
some of
this
the
is a
best work I've ever
story.
seen him do.
Oh, yeah. This is a story where Russ gave me a few little things that he wanted to draw. And Charles Santino, who we've had on my podcast a couple of times, he's written Conan for Marvel and has done a large amount of writing, sent a brief plot about Kull in his youth. And I incorporated that story with the notes that Russ had into a cohesive tale that I'm just super proud of. And sent Russ the whole script on it. I'm currently scripting the 3rd volume now. Each volume is meant to be enjoyed individually, if you read them together, starting with Shadow Kingdom, you're going to get one great long epic tale.
It looks great, guys. Like I have to.
It's really patterned after those old Savage Sword of Conans that we all love.
Look at that.
And Russ is just a huge fan of that format, but it's square bound, paperback square bound. Yeah, in gray tone like that, just beautifully done. Really excited about
really
this book. Can't wait for folks to read it.
Guys, back there, one of my admins out there, if you guys could, my wrenches, go and throw that link in the chat. I would appreciate it. It's a little difficult for me to do with just the one screen. This morning. I have to go back and forth.
There's also a great tier in there where you can buy the hardback version of the Shadow Kingdom in color, and the first 2 Atlanteans in black and white in paperback. That I can't recommend highly enough. The hardback Shadow Kingdom is just a fantastic product, just beautiful.
That is some
And
fantastic
these
work,
are
guys.
great as well. Don't get me wrong. It's just
You
such a
should be-
great product to be associated.
You
with.
guys should be totally, you guys should
Really
totally be proud of the job
Yeah.
you're doing there with that. Excellent work, guys. It has been a great show. Thank you guys for joining us here on the panel. Don't forget to check out Zim's Friday show and Sunday show on the
Comics
Indie
by Night,
Network.
5 a.m. Eastern Time, and Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Indie Comics Network. Go over there and take a look. Comic Book Black Belt, the Randy Zim YouTube channel as well.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And RJ has a campaign.
Yes, sir.
RJ has a campaign over on Fund My Comics, so make sure you check that out. He will be posting we post the link all the time, so he's doing a lot of marketing on that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Pedro has his new animation school that he's doing on YouTube. Check that out as well. And then T-Bunny also has a campaign over on Fund My Comic. Yep. So you want to make sure you check that out. Bunny, if you can go ahead and throw the links for all that in the chat, I would appreciate that.
Before we go, can I make a little announcement? Like,
it has to be quick. It has to be very quick.
Yeah. Normally, I'm streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I have things to do with the well in the house, so I'm going to stream tomorrow. Right now, we're on the bad news exercise using King Cryptid with Pizzi Medi. So we're going over parallax camera movements, editing into scenes, doing close-ups and long shots. So it's going to be exciting, but that's going to be tomorrow. So be on the lookout for the
Really
link.
good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely check that out, guys. Check out all these wonderful panel members. Thank you so much for being here and helping move the show along. It wouldn't be as fun without you. I promise you guys, you add so much. Thank you for the chat, for being here and getting involved. Thank you for those super chats today. Helps keep the lights on. We do appreciate it very, very much. We love all of you. Remember, it's so easy to tear down. It really is. So build up way more than you tear down. Leave that wood pile higher than you found it. And by all means, my friends, please, please be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459. 2 AEWs, a GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes. Homicide, arson, robbery.